Hello, I am Mrs. Wilson. I'm CEO of Because You Said Yes and relationship coach. How are you guys doing out there today? I know I have been AWOL, but I have made a promise to myself and to you guys that I'm going to give you some content at least 4 times a month. So anyway, let's jump right in so that we don't save, so that we can observe time. I had a event. If you don't know, I do virtual events monthly. You can check out the website at www.becausewesaidyes.info, and you would see it in the events area. The events, I have 2 events upcoming. Last month it was, this month it was through the seasons, and we got into some serious topics, and we played games. We were very interactive. Anyhow, today I want to touch on one of those things that we discussed during that time, because I noticed that some people wanted more. They wanted more of that topic, and one of those things was the word relationship in itself. So, in a relationship, in order to be able to have a successful relationship, you need to be able to communicate. One of my 10 keys to a healthy, happy, and prosperous marriage and relationship for that matter, is communication. In order to have proper communication, the first thing you need to be able to do is to relate. That's in any relationship. That's parent and child, that's friendships, that's all relationships, even the relationship you have with yourself. But you have to be able to relate. In order to relate, you have to have a commonality, some topic. Not even topic, but something that you two share, some commonalities, and you branch off from there. So when you're relating to someone and you're communicating, and my essence of the word communicating with that person, you have to know that there are different forms of communication. Your partner might not share the same form of communication you do. You have listening. That's one of the forms. You could be auditory, you could be emotional, you could be energetic, or you could be a verbal communicator. I know for myself, I'm more of a verbal and emotional communicator. My husband is more of an auditory communicator, and we both had to learn to relate to those communication forms in order to have productive communication. You must have communication so that you can deepen your relationship and actually grow. And that's my next part of the word, is ship. If you are going someplace on a ship, a cruise, let's say, you may have different destinations. You may stop at this island, that island, may tour here or there, shop here or there. But you know where you're actually going to, where's your final destination going to be before you board that actual ship. It's the same thing in a relationship. Although the tides may, cease and flow, get heavy and lighter, if you have the proper communication, you know that, okay, we're taking a little detour this way, or, there's been a change of plans here or there. But ultimately, these are our goals. This is where we're trying to go in this relationship. And that takes communication. It just takes communication. And then that ship can go places. Or in essence, your relationship will go places. It will deepen. It will develop. There are 7 types of skill sets, top communication skill sets that are necessary in that area. You need to be able to listen without interrupting. If you're always trying to interrupt the person speaking or listening just to respond, you really don't understand that person. You really aren't giving them the opportunity to respect how they feel and their opinion. And the thing is, I just had this conversation too with my brother-in-law, because I was telling him that when you're listening to someone, you're not listening necessarily just to respond. And the difference between that is when someone says, oh, I understand, but, well, when you say but, you negated everything that came before that. When you understand, you put yourself first person in that person's shoes so that you can see out of their perspective, their glasses, their viewpoint. And then you're able to really evaluate what they're saying to you. And then the next thing is being open-minded. You must be open-minded. If you are not open-minded about the situation, how would you be able to really go anywhere with the situation if it's always going to be the way you perceive it or the way you want it to go? You're not compromising. You're not being fair to that person or yourself for that matter. And then you're not building a friendship in essence either that way. Acknowledgement. How important is acknowledgement? You have to acknowledge whatever the situation is, whatever the topic is, whatever it could be even a good situation. It doesn't necessarily have to be an issue, but you need to be able to acknowledge in that communication. Discernment. This was one for me. Being able to understand when to speak, when to apply my verbal skill set, and when to not be so emotional, when to decide, you know what, let's go with his form of communication. Let me apply his auditory communication style to my own style right now. Because sometimes, everything, my husband always says, everything you think doesn't have to be spoken. And so you have to have discernment to decide what needs to be communicated and even how to communicate that and when to communicate that. And then empathy. It speaks for itself. Being honest. When you're not honest, you actually, you take away the trust. Trust is something very, very difficult to build at times, depending on what's going, happen in the individual's life. But once it's built, it's built. It's solid. But it can take one thing to shake that trust. Once that foundation of trust is shaken, it is very, very hard to keep the relationship committed. It's hard to be committed to someone you don't trust. So you have to really, really keep in mind that trust is very, very important, and it goes along with honesty. Being honest and vulnerable with someone, the honesty comes in where we always want to, okay, you want to get naked with your partner. We understand that. You want to get naked with your wife, you want to get naked with your husband, you want to get naked with your fiance, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the case is. But I'm talking about not the physical aspect of being naked, but their soul connection, that vulnerability connection, where you're actually being able to be at the core very, very honest. And if you trust that person, then you'll be able to do that much easier. And the last one is the resolution and action plan. You must have some sort of action plan at the end of it all. You need a resolution. Okay, so this is what's going on. Now let's resolve this and move forward. And it doesn't have to be necessarily a major thing. It could be something as minor as chores and who's doing what, or finances, or whatever the case is. But at the end of it, you need an action plan. Once that action plan is implemented, you need to try to stick to it. Yeah, got to try to stick to that action plan. And when something deviates, as I stated before about the ship, where the tide is flowing here or there, you must communicate it. Here's that magical word again. So those were the things: listening without interrupting, being open-minded, acknowledgement, discernment, empathy, honesty, resolution, and action plan. And those are the seven top communication skill sets. And then you have the different communication forms: verbal, physical, auditory, emotional, and energetic. So talk to your partner today. Figure out which form they are. And ask yourself, what skill sets do I have and do I need to implement in my communication styles? It's very, very important to have a successful relationship and build a firm foundation. And it doesn't matter what point in your relationship you are at, whether it's day 1 or day 365 or 20 years down the line. I find that there are couples who've been married a very long time who do not know how to communicate. Couples who've been together, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, for a very long time, and who lack or have poor communication skill sets. You have to deepen and develop them. Anyhow, so more different topics coming very, very soon. I have one coming up that's going to be super, super fun. And it's about friendships. And in our friendships, which ones help our relationships and which ones hurt our relationships with our spouses. Look forward to discussing those with you. Again, you can please like, comment, and share below. And I love to know what your communication skill sets are. What are your communication styles? What did you learn, or whatever? If anything sparked interest in this video, do you know these or have heard them before? Also, I would like you to look at my Instagram page, Just Because We Said Yes. Share that information. Go to the website. You can purchase. This is a great gift. My husband and I have the t-shirts, Because We Say Yes, Live the Vows. And my children also have them. It's a family affair. We also, because we say yes, we're this family. But anyhow, makes great anniversary gifts, wedding gifts, if you're going on a trip. A nice duo couples shirt, and sweatshirts coming soon. The website is www.becausewesayyes.info. And also I have memberships. So that's another great way to stay plugged in, because our newsletter comes out monthly. I have had great reviews about the newsletter. There are a whole bunch of different areas in it. We also have a singles corner. I give away a key each month for my singles, as well as my married, engaged, or committed couples. And I also have a networking corner and some date night ideas and a few other things in there, upcoming events and things like that. But it's very content packed. It's not like a 10-page newsletter, but it's it's only available to the members. So sign up to become a VIP by obtaining a membership. And see you soon. Mrs. Wilson, Because We Said Yes.